Booker sat in the dirt road, his legs aching from the long walk. Dust covered his clothes. He had been walking for miles. His stomach growled, but he didn't stop. He was on his way to school, a real school. He had never been inside one before. He had heard there was a school in Virginia that would let black students in. He didn't know if they would accept him, but he had to try. He believed learning was the key to a better life. He stood up, brushed off his pants, and started walking again. Booker T. Washington was born a slave in 1856. He was born in Virginia. His mother was also a slave. No one knew who his father was. Booker's life as a child was very hard. He worked in the hot fields, picking crops. He was not allowed to go to school. Slaves were not allowed to learn to read or write. When Booker was about 9 years old, the Civil War ended. Slavery was over. He and his family were free. They moved to West Virginia. Even though they were free, life was still very hard. They were very poor. Booker had to work in a salt mine to help his family. He worked from early in the morning until late at night. Still, he wanted to learn. Booker taught himself the alphabet. He learned to read with an old book. He carried it with him everywhere. At night, he practiced writing with sticks in the dirt. He kept learning any way he could. He heard about a school called the Hampton Institute. It was in Virginia, and it accepted black students. Booker knew he had to go there. He saved money. He walked over 500 miles to get there. When he arrived, he was dirty and tired. At first, the school was not going to let him in, but Booker asked if he could work to pay for school. The teacher gave him a test. She told him to clean a room. Booker swept the floor, wiped every table, and dusted every chair. He cleaned the room until it was spotless. When the teacher saw how well he worked, she let him in. Booker worked as a janitor and went to school. He learned reading, math, and writing. He also learned to work with his hands. He believed learning a skill was just as important as learning from books. After he graduated, Booker was asked to lead a new school in Alabama. It was called Tuskegee Institute. It started in 1881. At first, there were no buildings. There was no money, but Booker didn't give up. He and his students built the school with their own hands. They made bricks, built walls, and planted crops. The school grew. It became one of the best schools for black students in the country. Booker became a famous teacher and speaker. He believed that black people should learn skills like farming, cooking, bricklaying, and carpentry. He said this would help them find jobs and earn respect. He believed education was the way to gain freedom and a better life. He also said black people should work hard and be patient. He believed this would help them slowly gain equal rights. Not everyone agreed with Booker. Some people said he should fight harder for civil rights. Another leader, W.E.B. Du Bois, said black people should demand equal rights right away. He thought Booker was too slow and careful, but many people still listened to Booker. He gave a speech in 1895 called the Atlanta Compromise. In that speech, he told black and white people to work together. He said black people should not try to force change too fast. He said hard work and education would help people earn respect and freedom. Booker became very well known. He even met U.S. presidents. He gave advice to leaders. He raised money for schools. He wrote books about his life. His most famous book is called Up from Slavery. In it, he tells the story of growing up as a slave and working hard to become a teacher. His story inspired many people. Even though life was unfair, Booker never gave up. He kept going even when things were very hard. He believed that education could change lives. He proved that one person with hard work and hope could make a big difference. Booker T. Washington died in 1915, but his school, Tuskegee Institute, kept growing. Today, it is called Tuskegee University. Thousands of students have learned there. Many have gone on to become teachers, doctors, and leaders. Booker's life teaches us that learning is powerful. It shows us that hard work and hope can open doors. Even when life is unfair, we can keep going. We can make a difference, just like Booker did.